Hello, this is, I don't know channel again, and, I'm just, I'm trying to put up more March Madness content. I haven't, posted in a while, been busy, so I wanted to make a podcast about, the March Madness upcoming tournament, and, so I'm gonna get into 4 topics. I'm gonna talk about Michigan. I'm gonna talk about my top 5 underdog teams. I'm gonna talk about, contenders and near contenders. And I'm going to talk about the best matchups in the first round, in my opinion. So Michigan, I want to talk about Michigan, because I feel like they're going to be left off of these contenders and near contender stuff. I know Michigan dominated this year, and they're a 1 seed, and they beat Gonzaga by 40 and Auburn by 30, who I think Auburn is actually a really good team. Villanova by 28, and ended up losing to Purdue in the Big Ten tournament. But, I know that resume-wise, they're one of the best teams in the country. But I just don't think this is going to work. I don't think this 3 big man thing of Morez Johnson, Ade Mara, and Axel Lindenberg, I don't think that lineup is going to work in these tournament high pressure physical games. Not that they're not physical, but I just don't think 3 centers, like the 1 center being on the outside, or 2 centers sometimes, that can't make any move to the basket and is just not the greatest of ball handlers, and you can pressure them. Like, I've heard they've had turnover problems, and I think that's why. I just think when I saw it, they were throwing like hard baseball passes into the paint halfway between half court and the 3-point line, and they were getting a lot of them, but that offense is just kind of a crazy idea. Their offense gets so stagnant at times. A lot of times it's Lindenberg, but sometimes it's Mara or Johnson. They just can't do anything from the perimeter. And when you got 3 players on the court like that, I just don't think that's going to work. So, if you watch my tournament video, I have them getting knocked out in the second round by Georgia. I think Georgia's a really good team, but honestly, I would have a lot of teams over Michigan. So, I just thought I should talk about them and kind of explain why I'm not that high on them. And the main reason is, to me, they play like 3 centers or just big men. Even if they're power forwards, they're big. They're not guards, and I just don't think that's going to work. But they've obviously proven me wrong throughout the season so far. So, all right. Top 5 underdog teams. So when I'm counting underdog teams right now, I'm basically saying non-Power 5, and I'm including the Big East in that. So no SEC, Big 10, Big East, ACC, or Big 12 teams. And then I'm not counting Gonzaga either. So these are my top 5 underdog teams. Number 5, I'll start with number 5. California Baptist. They are a 13 seed? Yeah, 13 seed. They play Kansas. I don't have them beating Kansas. I didn't pick a lot of upsets from the mid-majors. So, a lot of these teams are not, I don't have them winning, but I still think they're really good teams. I think Cal Baptist could beat a lot of teams, probably about half the teams in this field. And they're very small, but their guards are super talented. They play defense very well. And, they really get after you on defense. Let me see something. They, I think they have an intensity on defense that if they kept it up all the time would make them at an even higher level. They don't have a lot of size, but they play really physical, and their guards are just super skilled. They could dribble, and just the way they get into their shot motion so easily off the catch, off the dribble, they just square up and they can get a good shot almost any time. I saw them play against BYU, so that's really the only game I watched them, and they can really play. So I got them at 5. I got Hofstra next, another 13 seed, who I do have beating Alabama. And I wouldn't have them beating Alabama. I'd have them beating a lot of teams, too. I wouldn't have them beating Alabama if that didn't happen to Aiden Holloway, but I just don't think Alabama is going to be able to take the the immediate loss of Aiden Holloway, one of their top two playmakers, and maybe players. But Hofstra just has great size for a small team. They're two big guys that they put in because they have four. Their fours are physical too. They're more small or fours, but they're really physical, and their big guys are just giant, especially their starter. And he blocks shots. They're physical. Their guards are skilled. They have some guards who can make some plays, shoot. I love Hofstra, and I got them getting all the way to the Sweet 16. So, I think their path, is probably the best out of these mid majors. So I got Miami, Ohio third, and I don't have Miami, Ohio beating Tennessee. And I actually thought SMU was better than them. I didn't think they were going to beat SMU, but I still really love Miami, Ohio, and I'm glad they made the tournament at large bid. I think they're better than a lot of these teams. A lot of these teams. Their offense is one of the best in the country, if not the best. It's probably the best in the whole tournament, honestly, with the way they move, 4 out, 1 in. Their power forward number 0 can really play. Their big man down low is really physical. He can really play. And they, not all of the guards are super talented, but they run the system really well. And their defense is fine. It's okay. So I love Miami High. I love watching them play. And I don't think Tennessee's going to run over them at all. But Tennessee's just so physical. I don't think they'll be able to take it. But number 2, Tennessee State. And I wish Tennessee State didn't play Iowa State. I love Iowa State, so I got Iowa State making it all the way to the Final Four. So I don't have Tennessee State beating them, but Tennessee State is the best jump shooting team to me. I've seen out of all the teams in the tournament. The pull-ups, the catch and shoot, they rise above their defender. They got to transfer because Nolan Smith came from Memphis as an assistant coach, and he's done a really good job. So he's got their defense better. And then he brought one of the players from Memphis with him. And some of those other players, number 30, I think he is so much better than he was last year. And they just get in, they're not, they can drive, they can get by people, but what they're really looking to do is pull up. And if they get in, they're not getting all the way to the rim. They're getting in so that they could stop, make a pivot, turn around, and hit a fadeaway jumper or a nice pull up. They all really can jump. They can shoot over people. And like I said, they play good defense. I wish they were playing someone else like, let me see. The 2 seeds are rough this year. So that was a bad spot for them. But I was seeing like bracketology before the year or before the tournament got released, and they were having them as like a 12 seed. Yeah, I wouldn't pick them to beat any of these 2 seeds. Because I like the 2 seeds better than the 1 seeds, honestly. But if you go down to the 3 seeds, like I would take them over Gonzaga. No, I wouldn't. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't take them over Gonzaga. Now that I look, I would take them over Michigan State. I would take them over Virginia. So yeah, 2 of the 3 seeds go down to the 4 seeds. I wouldn't take them over Kansas. I would take them over Arkansas. I would take them over Nebraska. So, they just got a rough spot because, Joe Lunardi was thinking they could be a higher seed, but all the way down to that 15 seed, it's just rough. I love watching them play, and that's not a cakewalk for Iowa State at all. That's a rough. Iowa State kind of has a rough road, honestly, because I got them playing Tennessee State, then Kentucky, then Tennessee. So they got a rough path to me. So at number 1, I got St. Mary's. I know that's not, I mean, they usually make it every year, so I don't know if this should count as an underdog. But if we are counting them as an underdog, I got them slightly better than Tennessee State because of their size. They just run an elite offense. It's slow, but I don't like slow offenses at all. I think most slow offenses are bad offenses. But theirs really works. They get whatever they want out of their offense. They always get the ball to their two big men, whichever two big men they got on the floor. Their big men can play. They have guards that can play. They're a really good team. I wish they would get the ball to their 7'2" guy more or whatever, because he could be dominant, and get him in more low post situations and stop trying to have him post for the mid post, like Purdue used to do with Zach Edey. But yeah, I like St. Mary's a lot. Okay. So now let's go to contenders. And I wanted to add near contenders too, because I had 26 contenders, and that was too many. So I cut it down to 14, and then I put a near contender 1 tier and a near contender tier 2. And so I'll start with near contenders tier 2. And the first one would be Nebraska. And I never had them as a contender. They were always a near contender, but they're in a tier by themselves of near contenders. And they're physical down low. Their offense is really, they have one of the best offenses in the whole, as far as the system, in the whole tournament. And they play good defense. They play solid defense, pressure defense. And Fred Hoiberg's done a really good job down there. They're physical down low. I really like watching Nebraska play. 12, I got Kentucky. Yeah, I think losing Jaden Quaintance and Jalen Lowe really hurt them. They don't really do anything special offensively or defensively as far as the system, and I think that hurts them too. I don't think Brandon Garrison is a center either. He plays center a lot, and I don't like him there. So, but they're still super talented with Owe and Garrison and Marino, whichever one it is. I think Marino. The Serbian guy, I think. Chandler. I mean, they got a really Diabate. They're super talented, and that's why they make this near contenders list. 11, I got Michigan State. I really like Michigan State. They're very physical. Their bigs can really play. And they just don't do enough offensively as guards. Like, I think Antoine Carr is probably their best creator, and he is from a guard, which he's like a hybrid anyways. But he's one of the best players in the country with his athleticism and his rebounding and his shot blocking and his effort and his ability to get down the floor and his his on-ball defense. But he probably shouldn't be your best guard creator. Not that he can't do it, but yeah, I just don't think they have enough offensively to go super far. But I still like Michigan State. Number 10, I got Ohio State. They play good elite pressure defense. I like John Mobley. I like Bruce Thornton. I like Devin Royal. I like their power forward, who's a freshman, power forward center, whatever. They got a really good team, and their offense has improved from last year as far as the system. They move better. They move around better. They move the ball better. They're a really good team. Mobley can really shoot. So I like Ohio State at 8. Sadly, they play Duke second round, so I got North Carolina 9. I still think North Carolina's a really good team. They get a lot of lobs to their big man from Arizona, who I can't think of his name right now. And Seth Trimble. He's really good. He is a great on-ball defender. He's a really good player. He's a great. He can get his own shot. And Jaron Stevenson can play. They still got a really good team. I think the lob threat and Seth Trimble makes them tough. So they don't do enough defensively or offensively as far as their systems. They don't get enough ball pressure to be any better than this, really. Villanova has a really good system. They're 8 for me. Very undersized. And they lost their power forward who wasn't big anyways. They just spread the floor and get up threes. And I think that's the way they do it is good enough to be the number 8 near contender in tier 1. I don't know if I said I'm doing that, but Nebraska was tier 2 of near contenders, and Kentucky started tier 1, number 12. And it's been Kentucky 12, Michigan State 11, Ohio State 10, North Carolina 9, Villanova 8. Number 7, I got Tennessee State. And like I just said earlier, the best jump shooting team in the tournament. Don't have a lot of size, don't have a ton of physicality. Still really good defensive team. But I think that's where they fall. And just talent. Some of these other teams are more talented than them. Not that they're not talented, but talented, especially with getting all the way to the basket. Seats like at St. Mary's, like I just said, they have great size, the great offensive system, play good defense. So they're a really good team. Let's see. 5, I got Gonzaga. Gonzaga plays really good defense. I think losing their big man really hurt them. I can't think of his name now. I think Huff, maybe. He was good, and having those 2 big men down low was a real advantage for them. Playing these smaller power forwards is probably going to hurt them, but I still think they're a really good team. I still have Alabama at 4. I don't think they'll be able to adjust and beat Hofstra, but I still think overall they're a better team than Hofstra, and if they can get things together fast without Aiden Holloway, I still think, they got an ability to, I think they're better than Hofstra, Akron, Texas Tech, and so they're still a really good team. 3, I got Tennessee. Tennessee is very physical. You got Estrella, you got Arparo, you got Casey, I think is a transfer from Vanderbilt. They're just very physical. Good guard play. The transfer from Maryland, Borg, the overseas guy. Tennessee can really play. I got Kansas over Tennessee at 2 near contenders. Their guard play is just so good. They defend so well on the outside with Melvin Council and Darren Peterson and Trey White, who's a power forward-ish, guard-ish player. But they can Cole Rosario when he gets in, and there's other guards on there better than him, even though he's a good player. But Kansas is really good. BYU, I love what BYU. They're my first near. They're the best tier 1 near contender. Number 1, BYU. AJ Diabonta is the best player in the NCAA to me. Kita is good. Honestly, they probably should play the guy that they got from the pros in the middle of the season more, because I think he's their best big man, but the few minutes he comes in, he does well. The power forward that's scrappy does well. Power forward-ish, center-ish player. He's undersized. He's really good. And, they still got Rob Wright. Their guards, I don't think the Richie Saunders and Dawson Baker thing is as big of a deal as everybody makes it. I think they got guards that can replace those, but BYU's a good team. Illinois. Illinois is really good. Their 2 overseas players are really good. Stojakovic is really good. They just got a good team. Duke is probably the most. So they're 14 of my contenders. This is my contenders list now. So Illinois is 14. Duke is 13. Most talented team in the tournament: Kamenia, Sarr, Boozer. Could all be really good NBA players. Malik Brown is a great defender. Boozer, Caden Boozer is a solid guard. They got a really good team. Arizona is the most physical as far as like big man down low physical team in the NCAA. They had an elite offense just by getting the ball to their number 1 big man all the time. And then Koa Pete's good. I mean, they're just a solid team. Awaka, you have guards on the outside. Bradley, no, they're the real deal. They're a good team. And 11, I got Louisville. Now, this is if Mikel Brown gets acclimated fast. I don't know what to think without Mikel Brown. I'm assuming he's going to be there. I haven't really watched them without him. I think what separates Louisville from a lot of teams is their ability to shoot the ball from deep. And, they could have more size. Their guys are physical, but it seems like they like to play a power forward at center a lot of the times, it seems like. But their defense is really good. And their ability just to shoot a deep ball. And it's not like, the transfer from Virginia and Mikel Brown, it's not like they're just shooters. They can get to the basket too. Ryan Conwell can get to the basket too. I love Louisville. So they're 11. So Illinois 14, Duke's 13, Arizona's 12, 11's Louisville, 10. I got Georgia. I know that sounds crazy. A lot of this sounds crazy. But Georgia is really good on defense. Really, really, really good. They get in you. I think I said in my tournament video, Santos Cyril doesn't play as hard as he needs to a lot of the time, but the rest of their players do. And their ball pressure is just great. Their offense is good. They got some solid players, but it's their defense that really makes them. 9, I got Florida. I said this in my tournament video too, but they just collapse the paint. They swipe down, they get the ball out of people's hands, and they get steals, and that's the main reason they won the tournament last year to me. That's their defensive idea. They don't give a ton of ball pressure, but you get down there in the paint, they're swiping the ball, they're getting it. They got a ton of size, they collapse on people, and it works. It works. 8, I got Clemson. Clemson just is very good on offense and defense as far as their systems. Don't have a ton of talent, but they're just going to be annoying to play for 40 minutes because they'll be right in your face. And then on offense, they're constantly moving the ball and moving themselves. And I love Clemson's game. 7, Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a little better version of Clemson. The talent's just a little better, but offense and defensive systems are just elite. Iowa State. Offense and defensive systems are elite. Their ball pressure as far as guards is amazing. With Taylor Lipsey, and he's not even really their best defender, honestly, as far as ball pressure. So, they got a big, I don't really remember his name, but he can dribble, he can score in the post. He's a good player. They got another power forward. He plays a lot of small forward, but he's a shooter. So they're a good team. Purdue, I got a number 5. Now they've had a disappointing year as far as what people thought they were going to be. But they're super talented with Jacobson and Kaufman Wren and the Braden Smith. The incoming freshmen, they're a tough team. Purdue's tough. 4, I got St. John's as top contenders, and they're just loaded with talent with Bryce Hopkins and Ian Jackson and Zuby Ejiofor and Uzziah Sellers, and loaded with talent. Offensive and defensive pressure is amazing. I think it would be better if they didn't play like 3 power forwards, which they tend to do with Mitchell, Hopkins, and Zuby Ejiofor. But they're still a really good team. And in some ways it kind of helps with their size too. 3, I got Texas. And for the main reason I just said, they don't have 3 power forwards on the floor. But their offensive and defensive systems are amazing. So 2, I got Houston. Offensive defensive systems are amazing. Best defensive team, most physical team in the country. I just think the team ahead of them has a great offensive and defensive system, and is just a little more talented, and that's all. Chris Sinak has kind of been a little bit of a disappointment this year. It seems like he gained weight and he doesn't move the same. It doesn't seem like that he did in high school. So, hopefully he gets used to his body. Honestly, I kind of wish he wouldn't go to the NBA. I don't even know what his draft stock is, but I think he could use another year to get used to his body, because he could be, a player that takes people from the 3-point line and gets to the basket and has guard skills and has post skills and all this stuff, but especially the guard part. But I think he just put on so much weight, probably good weight in a way, but he's just got to get used to his body, I would say. Or do something. Maybe he needs to lose some of it, or I don't know. But still got Sharp, still got you got the guard that's supposed to be a high NBA draft pick, which he's surprised because I saw him in high school and he is nothing like the player he is now. Tugler, really good. So they got a good team. UConn, just more talented version. Terrace Reed, more talented version of Houston. Not as good defensively, probably better offensively. Terrace Reed is amazing. Their backup big is amazing. That's the freshman. DeMary, Ball. I mean, they just got a really good squad. I know Jalen Stewart's hurt, but I think they'll be fine. And they're the number one contender, and I got them winning the national championship. So I hope I said the order every time, but I'll go over it again. So near contenders tier 2, number 1 is Nebraska. Near contenders tier 1, 1 BYU, 2 Kansas, 3 Tennessee, 4 Alabama, 5 Gonzaga, 6 St. Mary's, Tennessee State, Villanova, UNC, Ohio State, Michigan State, Kentucky. That's 1 through 12. And the contenders is 1 UConn, 2 Houston, 3 Texas, 4 St. John's, 5 Purdue, 6 Iowa State, 7 Texas A&M, 8 Clemson, 9 Florida, 10 Georgia, 11 Louisville, 12 Arizona, 13 Duke, 14 Illinois. That's my list of contenders and near contenders. So the best matchups for this first week. Alright, so I'll start from 5. Number 5, I got Miami, Ohio, and Tennessee. I don't have a lot of these small schools winning, but I think a lot of them can really make it a game. Miami, Ohio, like I said, they get their offense is really what drives them. Their system is so good, and they got their big men, like their 4 hybrid guy, and their 5 men are so good. They got a good guard on the outside, but I mean, it's really their system. They move so fast around the perimeter. They move the ball so well. But Tennessee's just so physical. I think Tennessee will out-physical them, but I think it'll be a close game, at least under 10, I would say. I think Miami, Ohio gets a lot of hate by people because of their schedule, but you watch them play, they look as good on film than more than half the teams in this tournament. They deserve to be here and winning every game, just about. And their power forward got hurt in the middle of the quarterfinal game against UMass in their tournament, and I mean he wasn't playing as hard after then, and he's either their first, second, or third best player, so. He's really good. 4, I got Michigan State and North Dakota State. And Michigan State can have a lot of problems with North Dakota State because North Dakota State, they don't do it consistently, but they get after. Well, they play defense consistently, but the certain level they play, when they're really going, they don't get after you like that all the time, but they do it a lot of the time. And like I said, their guards at Michigan State, I mean, they handle them all fine, but they're not. When you talk about contenders or near contenders, that group, they're not handling the ball like a lot of these guards. They're not able to get their shots like a lot of these guards. And that ball pressure in North Dakota State is going to really mess with them, and that could be an upset. 3, I got Wisconsin at High Point. I think this is because of the injury to Winter. Wisconsin really doesn't. They have problems with their guards being creative and getting their own shots too. And their main thing was being so physical. You lose Winter, that was a big part of your physicality. And I think High Point's not a bad team. I think they've improved a lot from last year, because last year I did not like the way they ran their offense. Not that it matters, but their offense was just so slow. And I think I said in my tournament video, I just hate slow offenses. I like St. Mary, or maybe I said it this video. I hate slow offenses. I like St. Mary's slow offense, but usually slow offenses are bad. But they've sped it up. They got a transfer from Liberty. They got a transfer from Arizona. They can play. They got transfer from Southeast Missouri State. Really good player. And I think they could give Wisconsin some problems. Their guards are probably better than Wisconsin's, honestly. And but they're not. Even though Wisconsin's physicality is depleted some, it's still more than High Point. So I got Wisconsin over High Point. 2, I got Miami and Missouri, and I wouldn't have this as a close game if Javon Porter was there because I think it's just too much when he's out there for teams to deal with. But he's not playing, and Miami plays good defense a lot of the time. They're not. They always play good defense, but that a great defense, they don't play it all the time, but they play it enough, I think, to get through and beat Missouri. Have enough talent with Sheldon Henderson and Donaldson, Washington, Udo. Renault's gotten a lot better because I didn't really think he was that great at Indiana. I thought he was overrated. He's gotten a lot better. Or maybe I just didn't notice it, but I got Miami over Missouri. And number 1, I got Akron and Texas Tech. And this is kind of because of the injury to the JT Toppin. I think with JT Toppin there, Texas Tech would beat Akron. Not saying it wouldn't be a close game. It's still a good game, but I think it's super, super close now. And it was still hard for me to pick who's better between Akron and Texas Tech. But I just got Texas Tech is probably the better defensive team. But Akron has more on offense with their system. They probably have one of the best offenses in the country. And Texas Tech is fine on offense. They don't do anything really special. I like their power forward, number 4. He's kind of a replacement for the guy that went to North Carolina State. But yeah, I think Akron, just their speed on offense, and honestly, they're more talented at this point. To me, the main thing that keeps it close is the way Texas Tech plays defense. But Akron, to me, is the more talented team. Their big man can really do. He can score for the perimeter, for the inside. But I still think that's going to be a super, super close game. Like I said, Texas Tech really plays defense. It's weird that I'm talking more about them like they're a scrappy team without JT Toppin. Yeah, it's kind of true. But honestly, Akron's talented. Akron might be more talented than Texas Tech, even with JT Toppin. I mean, maybe not, but they Akron has a lot of talent. To me, that's going to be the best matchup on the first week for first round. So these are the top 5 best matches the first round. So if I didn't say that already, but thank you for listening, and thank you for anyone who made it through or listened to part of it or anything, and just thank you for any support. Thank you and have a good one.